Elliotte Friedman and Kyle Bukauskas. 32 Thoughts the podcast has come to an end for the 25-26 season. And with that, Friedge posted his 32 final thoughts around a bunch of NHL teams and discourse surrounding all of their off-season festivities. And with this in mind, we've got a bunch of stuff to go over when it comes to the Detroit Red Wings. Big shout out, as always, over to the Grindline podcast for posting a recap of what was said. This is very helpful for us because we can read what was said on the screen and we can follow along, just get a better picture as to the contents of the pod. Of course, the Grindline pod also is a great listen, so you could go ahead and check out what they have to say about the Red Wings. Anyways, we have ourselves some notes by Elliotte Friedman on Dylan Larkin. We've got the way that the Leo Carlsson offer sheet has affected the Red Wings. We have some rumors on Simon Edvinsson and how the Carolina Hurricanes could potentially... what's the right term here? They could potentially be poking around on Edvinsson. Who really knows? And then there is another conversation on the future of Alex DeBrincat. Let's get into it here. According to Elliotte Friedman, Dylan Larkin's value went up after the Leo Carlsson offer sheet. Yzerman will now draw that line harder. Now, what does that mean? How did Leo Carlsson's offer sheet improve the value of Larkin? Well, it's because of the fact that Leo Carlsson is going to be making $18 million a year and $39 million in the first 12 months of his new contract. The fact that Dylan Larkin is making $9.3 million a season less than Leo Carlsson ups the value of Larkin, because it's not just Carlson that we have to be concerned about. What's the next dollar amount that Macklin Celebrini is going to get? What's the next dollar amount that Adam Fantilli or Connor Bedard are going to get? We already saw Pavel Mintyukov sign for $7 million a year. That guy ain't worth $7. At least not in the traditional sense when you think about contracts and how they are generally viewed around the NHL. $7 million a year for Pavel Mintyukov? That's a little too much, but it's the world we live in now. The Leo Carlsson offer sheet changed everything, and because of that, guys are going to be paid more. So for Dylan Larkin, who is already locked in at $8.7 million to the end of 2030, this contract... I mean, if Elias Pettersson is making 11.6, if Nico Hischier is making 11.7, Dylan Larkin at 8.7 is kind of a steal. No matter how much you want to discredit the on-ice talent that he has and the work ethic that he was able to put on display post-Olympics, essentially. There's a lot to criticize when it comes to Larkin in that aspect. I'm not going to deny it. But still, Carlson and his situation seems to have improved the value for Dylan Larkin. Steve Yzerman will adjust accordingly. Elliotte says here he is not convinced Yzerman wants to start the season with a distraction, but also that no trade is better than a bad trade. Yzerman wants current players for Dylan Larkin. If he wanted futures, the deal would have been done already. So I guess that goes to show you just where Yzerman's brain is at when it comes to what exactly a Dylan Larkin trade even means for the Detroit Red Wings. Trading away your captain and your number one center is not going to mean, okay, let's rebuild. It's going to mean, okay, we're going to need to pivot. We're not going to be able to do what we need to do with this guy on our team. Let's just try to make a move where we can actually remain competitive and try to allocate that value to other parts of our lineup. Either that or we're not going to make the move at all. We're not trading him if we can't get stuff back that's actually worth it, in our opinion. That's not new. We've been hearing this about Yzerman and his perspective on the Larkin trade talk for weeks now. Now, we have ourselves some more updates. Elliotte Friedman says there are rumors that the Carolina Hurricanes have sniffed around on Simon Edvinsson. And this is pretty interesting because when you take a look at the way things have gone out, Edvinsson is 23 years old, 6'6", 223. He is also unsigned. He is also an RFA. And there are some questions as to whether or not this guy is going to be signing for a dollar amount that is, less than Pavel Mintyukov. I can't even really wrap my head around it, to be honest. Pavel Mintyukov went out there and changed the market for these defensemen with $7.2 million a year till the end of 2031. Mintyukov had 22 points in 73 games at 22 years old this previous season. Edvinsson is 23. He had 25 points. So what? Is Edvinsson worth $8 million a year? Only $700 million a year less than Dylan Larkin? My gosh, man, the market has changed. But as the old rule states, if the Carolina Hurricanes want your guy, that's probably not a good sign for you, because it means that the Carolina Hurricanes see value in what it is that you have, and you gotta do your darndest best to make sure the Hurricanes don't get their grubby paws on your assets. Because if Carolina wants your guys, it means your guys are genuinely talented. And for Simon Edvinsson, I don't think anybody needs to be told that, oh yeah, this is a good player and he's a valuable addition to the Red Wings. We know that. He eats minutes. He is a big hulking guy. Him and Seider form the Twin Towers on D, and I think everybody projects Edvinsson to being a significant part of the Detroit Red Wings' long-term future. So, Carolina, stay away. We don't want to give you this guy. Unless, of course, there's an offer sheet, which, is there even an offer sheet eligible for Edvinsson? I don't know. Not everybody who is an RFA is eligible for an offer sheet, just FYI. It all depends on the amount of games that you were able to play in the previous years. Anyways, there are some other updates here from Elliotte Friedman on the Detroit Red Wings front. He's got no sense where Patrick Kane might land. Kane has options. He doesn't really expect Kane to go back to Detroit. Hey, I guess we'll wait and see, right? Ottawa ended up getting Claude Giroux back, so anything is possible, but of course, I'm not saying that Patrick Kane is guaranteed to be coming back to Detroit. Maybe by the time this video is public on YouTube, Kane is already signed. Who really knows? Friedman says here he had liked the Arvidsson and Keegan Kolesar additions a lot. On Alex DeBrincat, Yzerman doesn't like the big contracts being handed out, so he doesn't know how comfortable Yzerman would be paying DeBrincat what he is worth on the open market. DeBrincat, by the way, is making $7.875 million a year till the end of next season. He's got 1 year left on the deal, he is eligible for an extension now, and he is 28 years old and just coming off of an 85.41 goal year. DeBrincat was solid this season, and this is a player that if he was a free agent in 2027, with all the money freed up and the cap rising the way it is, I wouldn't be surprised if DeBrincat was able to get 12 and a half, $13 million a year. You look at what Kyle Connor, Adrian Kempe, Alex Tuck, and all these guys got, Alex DeBrincat can very well get more than them, right? So we will see whether or not Stevie Y is willing to go that high on a potential contract extension with DeBrincat. Friedman says here the Wings are at a crossroads. Raymond's contract suddenly looks extremely good. Seider's may be the best in the league. Yzerman was not a fan of how much players started getting paid so quickly. Term was not an issue. Older players may not age well, and you get stuck with the contract and the money hung up. Now, Raymond and Seider, obviously those guys and their contracts, they're looking really strong nowadays when you look at the Detroit Red Wings and what has been bubbling around the NHL. Raymond making $8.075 million till the end of 2032, Seider making $8.5 till the end of 2031. I'd say Seider and Lane Hutson's contracts are right up there amongst the best of the best in the NHL on D, and that's not me being a biased Red Wings and Canadiens fan speaking, that is literally just the way things have gone. When Bowen Byram, of all people, is making $12.5 million, you know Seider at $8.5 is a bargain. But with that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these Friedman updates? The latest on Dylan Larkin, how Leo Carlsson and the Philadelphia Anaheim predicament increases Larkin's value. That's a pretty big trade update, I would say. And also, what are your thoughts on Carolina snooping around on Simon Edvinsson? Do you think he's an inevitable Hurricane, or does he stick around in Detroit for the long haul? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.